So, you're thinking about studying in an Australian school. That's fantastic. But there's one rule that can literally stop your application cold, and it has absolutely no exceptions. I'm talking about your age. Today, we're going to break down the exact age requirements for the Australian school visa number by number. So, let's get right to it. Does your age really affect your Australian school visa application? The answer is a huge, definite yes. And look, these rules aren't just important, they are incredibly specific. Getting them wrong? Not really an option. So let's dive in and break them all down.
All right, first things first. We need to be super clear on the exact visa we're talking about here.
And that's the Subclass 500. Now, this is basically the main student visa for Australia. It covers pretty much everyone, from little kids in primary school all the way up to postgrad students. Its whole purpose is simple, to let you be in the country to study. So, what's the most basic bottom line age rule of them all? Well, it all starts with just one single number. And that number is 6. Yep, you have to be at least 6 years old to get a student visa for school. This lines up with when formal schooling starts here in Australia. It's a really simple, non-negotiable starting point. But believe me, from here, things get a whole lot more complex. And this is where it gets a little tricky. Because for high school applicants, the government has set specific upper age limits for every single year. This is the spot where a lot of people unfortunately get caught out. Okay, let's get to the most crucial part of this whole thing, the specific age cutoffs for each high school year. You really need to pay attention here, because getting this wrong is one of the easiest ways to have your visa denied.
Yeah, and I've got to stress, this is not just some general guideline. You have to match your age precisely to the school year you're planning to start. So let's look at the exact numbers. All right, here they are, the official limits. You can see there's a really clear pattern here, right? To start year 9, you've got to be less than 17. For year 10, less than 18. For year 11, under 19. And for year 12, under 20. So when you're planning, you need to be absolutely sure you fit into these brackets. Now listen closely, because the specific wording here is so critical. Let's just take the year 11 rule, for example. The government says less than 19 years old. Notice they don't say 18 or younger. That level of precision really, really matters. But honestly, there's another part of the phrase that's even more important.
And that phrase is when you begin the year. This is huge. Your age isn't checked when you apply or even when the visa gets granted. It is all pinned to the exact day you're scheduled to begin school. This just goes to show how vital it is to get your application timeline perfectly lined up with your school's official start dates. Okay, so we've established that age is a real make-or-break role, but there are a couple of other official notes that you should definitely have on your radar. They give some really important context for your application.
So, just 2 more quick things to be aware of. First, if you're applying from outside Australia, your application will be processed according to something called Ministerial Direction 111. It's worth a quick search to see how that might affect your processing times. And second, for anyone who needs to take an English test, just know that the requirements for those are changing from August 2025. These are, bigger topics for another day, but they're definitely important to flag while you're planning everything out. When you look at them, these age rules for the Subclass 500 visa are a perfect example of just how detail-oriented Australian immigration can be. There's no room for error. And that really leaves you with one final, critical question. If the government is this precise about your date of birth, what's the next detail in your application that you need to check, and then probably check again?